So, here are my mom's Martenitsi. They are called Pishu I Penda. Čestita Baba Marta na Martenitsi. Happy 1st of March, or Baba Marta, aka Grandma March. I actually hadn't planned on making this video, but we had so much fun celebrating Baba Marta that I decided let me share it with you. За всички българи, поздрави, предполагам, че знаете, може би повече от мен за Баба Марта, но ще показвам малко клипчета на Нью Йорк накрая, ако ви е интересно. Baba Marta is a very old traditional Bulgarian holiday where we're celebrating essentially the beginning of spring. And of course, we want to enter our new spring season with health and happiness. So we put on these red and white Martenitsi who come in the form of a couple, Piju and Penda. So the white Martenitsa represents happiness, while the red Martenitsa represents health. Traditionally, you'll see the spiraling like you see here of the red and white strings, which has to happen in the left direction, and this represents the combination of health and happiness. On the 1st of March, every Bulgarian puts on a martenitsa either around their neck, arm, or on their chest until they see either a blooming tree or a shturkil. In English, shturkil I believe is crane, because in Bulgaria we have a lot of cranes who migrate back to us around spring, and that's how we know that the weather is going to be getting warm soon. While I would say most of us nowadays, we just hang the martenitsi on the first blooming tree that we see, traditionally you either wear it until the 9th of March, 25th of March, or until you see the first blooming tree if that happens before then. If you don't want to put it on a tree, what you can do is you can either put it under a rock or throw it into a river. This is more old school traditions, but I'm not going to go too far deep because if I start, this video is going to become 3 hours long. So for now, let's just celebrate Prvi Mart or Baba Marta together. I hope you enjoy. So it's March 1st and we've got a big holiday today, Baba Marta, where we're going to be picking out our Martenitsi. Time to choose our Martenitsi. Yes, Cheshi, are you gonna help us? Yeah? Сега ще си изберем Мартенички. Охо, виж колко са много. It's a lot of Martenitsi. Oh, this one my grandma made. Excuse me, what is this? Another kitty wants a Martenitsi? Okay, fine. Fine, for both of you. Fine. Okay. Yeah, I think you guys can tell who's the most interested. Now we have to choose our Martenitsi. Let's start with this big one. This one I got last year for my mom and my sister. So this is Piju, this is Penda, the girl and the boy, just like the ones you saw on our farm. And what my grandma told me was that traditionally, the Martenitsi were actually made out of silk and they were just two piskylchta. So piskylchta is something like, let me see if I could, something maybe like this, two little strings. But nowadays, this is really what the traditional Martenitsi looks like. So slight correction. This is the traditional Martenitsa. My grandma said piskyul and I thought that it meant this, but it's really just, this is the traditional Martenitsa. This is a little bit more of a advanced version of the traditional Martenitsa, but it is supposed to represent the girl and the boy. So let's call it this. Oh yes, and by the way, my great-grandma made this pokrivka in English, tablecloth. It has a little stain there, but it's really old, so there's nothing you can really, it's unavoidable. Yeah, the whole thing is decorated. You guys can see. Actually, speaking of, my great-grandma also made this. No, oh my God. Okay, no. Okay, this is coming off the table. Yeah, this is why we can't have anything nice, guys. And my mom made this one in school, if you can believe that. Yep, they had trudovu. How do you translate Mama trudovu? Work class in school where kids' crafts would learn to do these things. Yeah, we don't have that anymore. Oh, okay. That's gonna be yours. Good. Which one do you want? Yeah, I'm gonna go with this one actually. The traditional one. And this one. Because I think my sister claimed this one. And there you go. On the 21st of March last year, we actually found our first blooming tree, along with signs of other Bulgarians. You see all the Martenitsi there. This year, I'm still wearing mine. I haven't seen a blooming tree yet. I'm actually deciding to voice record over last year's video, even though I'm talking about a lot of really interesting stuff about the 1st of March. But I found something out even more interesting, in my opinion, the legend of Piju and Penda. And I actually learned of two different versions. One of them is a very happy, blissful version, and the other one is very disturbing. So here we go, the legends of Piju and Penda. Now I'm gonna start with the happy legend, which is pretty simple and pretty traditional. Piju and Penda, as you can imagine, are two young lovers, the most beautiful in the village, who fall in love and get married. Piju is the most handsome boy in the village, Penda the most beautiful, and Piju was so hardworking that his cheeks were always red. That's why Piju is depicted as red, and Penda was the bride in white. Simply put, that's the happy version of Piju and Penda. Now, the other version of Piju and Penda goes like this. There was a young couple living on a farm. They were very hardworking, but they had one problem. They couldn't have any kids, and it was causing them a lot of sadness. One day, a hunched over and very scary looking old lady comes by. She looked like she was hungry and thirsty, and being the nice couple that they were, they invited her in. The old lady quickly saw that there was something making the couple unhappy, and she quickly realized that it was because they couldn't have any kids. At that point, she offered to help. The old lady cast a spell and instructed the couple to lay together on the next full moon. The problem was there was a catch. She told them that they're going to have twins, which made the couple very happy. However, on the 16th birthday of the twins, she's going to return and take Penda. In a state of euphoria and thinking that this old lady was just too old to come back 16 years later, the woman decided to take up the offer. And thus, Piju and Penda are born. And yes, they are brother and sister in this version. The family lives happily for the next 16 years until the day before their 16th birthday. While gathering firewood, Piju noticed a merchant selling some blue stones that he thought would be very beautiful for Penda's birthday tomorrow. Being the loving brother that he was, he bought the stones and returned home. The next morning, to their mother's despair, she sees the old witch come back. Piju and Penda are in the other room, and the mom tries to push the witch out of the house. At that moment, the witch grabs the mother and turns her into a cherry tree. Piju and Penda come running out of the room, only to find their mother transformed before their eyes into this tree. In shock, Penda collapses right next to the tree, and thus the witch took Penda, fulfilling her prophecy. Full of grief, seeing his mother a tree and his sister dead, Piju follows the witch for miles and miles, begging her to please return his family, or at least return Penda. After hours of listening to Piju begging, the witch decides that she's going to make Piju an offer. She says to go back to the house, lie by the cherry tree next to Penda, and cover her in his own blood. Overfilled with joy that he's going to get his beloved sister back, Piju listens to the witch and does as she instructed. After an exhausting day on the fields, the father comes home, only to find that his family is not there. To his surprise, on the roof is a pair of sturkili, or cranes, and below them is a blossom cherry tree that he's never seen before. He walks closer to the cherry tree and sees that hanging on its branches is a beautiful pair of Martenitsi, red and white, for Piju and Penda. And there you have it, two very different versions of the priказka, or tale of Piju and Penda. Bulgaria is like this. We have different versions of everything, and we are very dramatic in a lot of ways. For now, let's leave things off on a happy note and remember that at the end of the day, we're celebrating rebirth and the beginning of spring, health and happiness, and all of these beautiful things. So thank you guys very, very much for watching. I hope this was interesting. I hope you learned something new, and I hope to see you again next time. Честита Баба Марта, да сте бели и червени, много споделени. Good girl. Okay, yeah, these are used. I know. You can play with it. Trishy? Yes, it looks so good on you. Beautiful. Beautiful. For you? Yeah, you can have that one. You're just too crazy to have anything, Luda. There. There we go. Perfect.